night was an interesting night, to really say the least, right? And I want to say hats off to Tennessee Tech, Coach Wilder and that crew. They came in here and they played one heck of a ball game. First games are what first games are, right? You look early and you think that you're going to have an opportunity to go boat race somebody a little bit and just keep going, and then all of a sudden then you sputter out. And momentum. Football's a game of momentum, and I thought, we had it early. Tennessee Tech, marched back. They took it, and that was okay. I don't think this group panicked. We wanted to play better, and what you saw from this team was growth, right? A lot of new faces, some adversity, and you have to learn how to win in a lot of different ways in college football. You got to learn sometimes how to play from ahead. You got to learn how to play from behind, and I think we got it all in one. Rain delay, playing from ahead, coming from behind. Look, I didn't want to draw it up that way, but what I felt was this football team learned a lot about itself, its character, and winning does take what winning takes, right? It takes commitment for 4 quarters, 60 minutes every play, and we needed every bit of 4 quarters, 60 minutes and to get the victory. So, there's a lot to be learned from game 1 to game 2. At the end of the year, nobody's going to look back and remember what the score was. What people are going to remember that it was a victory, and so I'm going to celebrate it that way, right? I got a lot of confidence in this team. I think we can get better. We had a couple of losses injury-wise in this ball game, so I hope we can get some of these guys back as we get ready to turn the corner and to play Ole Miss. But hats off again to Tennessee Tech.
Coach, can you speak on getting that first win here under your belt? And number two, you mentioned boat racing. Would it have been more memorable had you boat raced them, or was a thrilling win like this make this first win more memorable?
To be honest, so I look at where we are, and this is special because it was almost 10 years to the day, man, when I had to sit and play a game at 11:30 at night, and it's almost like, okay, hey man, are the dark clouds coming back, right? You have to sit there and ask yourself that. I mean, anybody who's a realist sits there and asks, okay, hey, like what type of thing is this going to be? And I'm human, I'm just a regular guy, right? So, you thought about it, but then my wife sent me a text. Because I'm sitting in the locker room, my wife sent me a text and she said, listen, this ain't that. She goes, hey, be confident. This ain't that. You got a new team, a new opportunity. This isn't 2014, this is 2024. And you know what? Just like that, man, I sort of snapped, out of it, right? And what I saw from this football team tonight, man, was really incredible. It was. First victory. We'll all remember it. That's for dang sure. We all gonna remember it. But just how resilient the kids were. You know what? Because when you have a new group like this, and you can have one of the best quarterbacks in the world, but at the end of the day, man, somebody's got to make some plays, and that's what happened. Guys made some plays. In 1 minute, we probably had more plays made in 1 minute in that ball game than we made the whole second half. So again, be confident. Don't discount what opportunity brings you.
Coach, you mentioned it's a game of momentum. It seemed like that safety in the second quarter really shifted momentum for the rest of the game. What changed after sort of that moment for you guys on both sides of the ball?
To be honest, I just thought it was a safety, right? I didn't think of it as anything other than 2 points. What I was thinking about was we needed to make sure that we got a defensive stop, and we wanted to hold those guys to a field goal, right? So to me, maybe that was a momentum changer for us. I mean, for them, but for us, we just have to learn, how to roll this thing over and make sure that we can flip the momentum. But we didn't, right? It just seemed like we stalled and we became stagnant, and they loaded the box. And we missed some opportunities. Got lucky with a couple of calls that sort of extended drives, right? Like, to me, that wasn't how we wanted to play football. But here's what I'll say. I think this much. Sometimes, man, you don't necessarily get the win that you want. You get the win that you need, and that was the win that we needed. Like, in my opinion, we needed to learn how to win tough. And man, that was a tough way to win one, for sure. We went the hard way.
You started off hot, like you said, with the boat race comment, but things went stagnant, as you mentioned. What adjustments was Tech making, and where were you struggling to move the offense from there?
I think, like, for us, when we go back and look at it, and we made some like adjustments, right? I thought they were loading the box, and I thought we were able to. I talked to Coach Reeder, and they made some adjustments. Whenever you're getting attacked on the line of scrimmage like that, get the ball on the perimeter. I think every time we threw a running back perimeter screen, it went for like 10 yards. So, I mean, you could have probably, spit it out there all day on the perimeter with receiver screens and running back screens, because if they want to load the box like that, there's just not enough guys out there to bring it down. And so, like, we saw that, like, happen a couple of times. I thought we missed some easy, like, pitch and catches, right? I mean, easy outs, easy hitches. I mean, those haven't been characteristic. And so I just look at it and just say, hey, look, we got to be better. So there's a lot to go back to the table with this week. We've got good enough players. I believe that they're going to be excited about executing, but the reality of it is we played just good enough, okay, to almost put ourselves in position to get beat, okay? And that's not what you want. What you want to be able to do is be methodical, be mechanical, take your shots. I just didn't see us push it down the field like we wanted to tonight, and I thought there was some opportunity, but you got to keep your quarterback upright. All right, so as we look at it, there's just a lot there. So we'll unpack it tomorrow. We'll fix it, and let's move forward.
Tell me about that last drive there, and kind of the special character that is Nick Vattiata that was able to keep the team poised on a 4th and 5 there.
Look, it's crazy because Nick was poised on 4th and 5. On 3rd and 5, he sort of panicked a little bit. I mean, so, like, again, it just shows, trust process. If you ask him, he probably would have wanted that 3rd down back. He didn't get it. He got 4th down and made it work. I just think this kid's a special talent, right? We do have to keep him upright, but I think there's other things that we can do to make sure that we spread it around, that we get the ball in our playmakers' hands, because we got way too many playmakers not to make sure we spread the love.
Coach, you talked about how, tonight being a close win. Do you think that the team can almost learn more from this being a close a battle with Tech tonight than had it been the blowout that we expected going into tonight's game?
I didn't expect a blowout. What I expected was, us to come out and play better, right? Or play well. And I thought we went out and played well initially. And then, became stagnant. That's not what we want. So, we'll address that. And we'll work to fix that. All I can say is this, right? Learning, with 59 to 60 new players, there's a lot of learning going on. So I'm gonna talk about the lessons that we can take from this ball game and then move forward. Because, like, when you got a bunch of guys just working to gel together, whether it's the offensive line, whether it's our quarterback with our receivers, and then our run game, whether it's defensively, look, if you dwell too much on the negative, okay, man, you can find yourself stunning their growth. I'm not going to dwell on the negative. I'm going to focus on what needs to be fixed, okay, and then I'm going to accentuate the positives, and what we're going to do is get ready to go play on this.
You guys rotated in a lot of guys at different positions tonight,
Yeah, we did.
specifically at running back. Were there any that stood out to you tonight, maybe above the rest, or was it just kind of a room that functioned best as a whole tonight?
Yeah, I look at the running back room and I say to myself, it's one of the deepest that I've been around, and I've been around some pretty good running back rooms. It's just deep. I don't care who you hand it to. I think they're all capable of doing something special with it. And I think they've all gotten better because they've learned how to catch the ball in the backfield. They've learned how to protect. I mean, they've got to be three-dimensional in this offense for what we need to do. So I just think they've gotten better.
Previously, we talked about the last drive and how he converted on fourth down.
Mhm.
But really, y'all had success all night on fourth down from various distances. What made fourth down so successful for you on tonight?
The analytics on it help, right? I think that's part of what you do. When you look at some of the analytics and you ask yourself, hey, does it make sense? We found ourselves in some precarious field position at times, right? It was like the 40, the 37, the 30. So, like those, like for us, didn't want to give them field position, with a long field goal. To me, that really didn't make sense, right? So I think we still with the analytics. I had enough confidence in the things that I had seen in practice, and I thought, Coach Weaver had some strong play calling early in this deal, especially on fourth down. So I'm going to trust him. I'm going to trust our process of how we prepare. But the analytics, I think, help a lot nowadays. Like where you sit, where you're at, and doesn't make sense to go for it on fourth down.
And continuing with that last drive, do you think that gives you a little bit of momentum going into this week, preparing for Ole Miss? And do you know of anything that 100% has to change to win next week?
Everything has to change. I don't think you leave any stone unturned, right? I think, man, we have to be better with penalties. I think we got to be better on third downs. Okay, both offense and defense. You can run down the gambit. I think there's just a lot of room for improvement. So, with that being said, right, you're gonna go into a hostile environment, and those games are fun to play. Okay, but here's the thing about like fun games in hostile environments: you can't lose your composure. You have to function at a high level, and really, what it comes down to is not making a ton of mistakes. And tonight we made way too many. That's okay. Like I said, we'll turn it around. We'll look at it, and this gives us a lot of confidence. I think this game itself, regardless of what other people say, I know what it looked like down there on the sideline. I know what happened when Amari caught the ball. I know what happened when Frank put it in the end zone. I saw the look in these guys' eyes. That's confidence, right? And that a lot of people can't measure it, but I can.
Coach, you had your first win at Middle Tennessee today, but this is also the 300th win in Floyd Stadium.
Wow.
How does it feel to have both of those in your first game?
You know what? I'm stunned by that. To be honest, I didn't know. The 300 program history of Floyd Stadium. That's incredible. That speaks a lot to the people, man, who came before us, because they put it at 299, right? And I'm just lucky enough to get 300. It's just, I don't know. I really don't think about it. I'm just glad that we got the win. So I'm thankful. But thank you for bringing that up, man. That's just one of these bones, man. I'll have to pick with Mr. Owens over there. Man, he could have given me a little more energy going.
Coach, you have Amari Kelly on that 4th and 5 play.
Yeah.
What is it like to have a dependable wide receiver like him?
We have so many dependable wide receivers. I look up, right? I don't think we found Holden enough tonight. And I think that's a matchup, man, that we have to, refine, right? I feel good about all our receivers. I just think, like tonight was just one of those nights, like for us where, we didn't have the mojo, especially in the second half. We just didn't have the mojo, right? And so we have to work a little harder. We all, receivers, D-line, tight ends, we all just got to work a little harder, man, because it's there. It's there to be had, right? And I think we left a lot of production out there on the field tonight, but that's okay. There's always tomorrow.
With the delay with